How's everybody doing?
Coach, morning. Thanks for joining us. We will begin with Greg Barnes. Go ahead, Greg.
Good morning, Jay. The defense played very well there in the first half against Jordan Yates. And then once Jeff Sims came in, it kind of changed the complexion of the game. What were the challenges that occurred once Sims came in?
Greg, I really think it was more the mistakes we made, to be honest with you. And I think Sims is a really good player. I think Jordan Yates is a really good player. They ran the same plays. We didn't tackle as well, and we didn't leverage the ball, and we made some really, really, some errors that we normally don't make. So I give him credit. Obviously especially the last run was a really good run, but I think it was more our mistakes than anything that happened on the other side of the ball, to be honest with you.
Thanks.
Yep.
Patricio Bernaldez, go ahead.
Hey, so Coach, you've recorded 6 sacks in the last 4 games. I'd like to know what you're missing in order to apply more pressure to the quarterback.
I think we have to get them into more downs where they're throwing it. I think it's a big part of it. I think when you're in 3rd and 3 a lot and you're in 3rd and 4 a lot, it's hard to get sacks. It's hard to dial up pressure. It's hard for the D lineman to cut it loose. So I think that's a big piece of it. And we've played some teams. Georgia Tech was committed to the run game. We knew that going in. Didn't give us a lot of chances to rush the passer. So, and I think Duke's committed to the run game too. So sacks and turnovers come from run game efficiency, and when you don't have run game efficiency on defense, it's hard to get the other two.
Thank you,
Jones.
Hey, Coach, it appeared at times that some of the guys were having trouble getting plays signaled into them the other night. And Jeremiah said after the game, there were more than a handful of times where a couple of guys were doing one thing when the call was to do something else. Is this something that you've noticed that maybe has been a little bit of an issue? Some of the guys getting the calls, or is that a little bit overblown?
I'm not aware, Andrew, that we had problems. We've signaled this way for a long time now. So, yeah, I don't think that was the case at all.
Well, what are your thoughts on what Jeremiah said about some of the guys?
I didn't hear what he said. I didn't hear what he said, so I'll have to ask him. But I felt like we were in the right call most of the time.
Thank you.
C.L. Brown.
Hey Jay, what do you feel like makes Mateo Durant so effective in Duke's running game?
I have a lot of respect for him as a football player. I think he's a really complete football player. He catches it, he blocks. He's a very physical runner. I remember last year, we came at halftime against him. We said, look, don't think for a minute now that we can relax. And sure enough, he popped along, went on us. We misfit a split zone play. But I think he's fast. I think he's tough. I think when he gets his shoulder square, he's a very hard guy to tackle. I think he's a really, really good player.
In some ways, is this almost old school, kind of preparing for an offense that's tailored to the running back like they do?
Yeah, I think Coach Cutcliffe and his staff have always been committed to running the tailback, and they got a really good one, So, yeah, it's certainly if you don't stop the running back against these guys, you're gonna have a hard day, for sure.
Thank you.
Adam Smith.
Hey Jay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, a little difficulty there. What do you notice about when you're studying Duke? What do you notice about the way that Coach Cutcliffe prepares his quarterbacks? It's like, it's not like they've had the same guy there playing quarterback the last 4 years. It's been a different guy kind of every year that you've gotten ready for them. Just what in sort of that area, what do you notice, and what have you picked up on?
I think he's he's kind of well known in coaching and in football for how he's developed quarterbacks. I just think he's got a very thorough process with them. I don't feel like the ball goes where it's supposed to go. They're able to handle a bunch of checks in the run game and in the pass game. They're a lot like what Phil does with Sam. There's a lot of times where there's 3 or 4 plays potentially on a play call, and And I think, 12, Holmberger's playing for him this year is a really good player. I thought when he came in last year against us, he played really good. So, I mean, I think he's operating at a very high level. I think the ball goes where it's supposed to go a lot. They're scoring a bunch of points, running up for a bunch of yards. And I think he's controlling the box the way that they like to do it with all the RPOs and the screen game. And we're going to have to really do a great job, when we're in man coverage, playing man coverage. I think that's what it's going to come down to.
Thank you, man.
Yep.
Gregory Hall.
Jay, after looking film from the Georgia Tech game, what was the main difference between stopping the run against Virginia and stopping the run against Georgia Tech? Was it strictly missed tackles, or what did you see there?
Certainly missed tackles had a big part of it. I think schematically, we had some major errors. I think there's 3 runs that are about 150 yards that on all 3, we had a guy not execute the way we wanted to execute. So I think that's part of it. And that's on that is on me, right? That's my job to make sure they're in the right gap and they're doing their job. And I think that's where we got to make strides. So I think that was, Georgia Tech was a lot more committed to the run than Virginia was. We thought we could get Virginia out of the run, and we did. And against Georgia Tech, they were committed to the run, stayed with it, and found a way to pop some big ones on us.
All right, that's the last one for you, Coach. Appreciate a few minutes.
Thanks.